सर्वेभ्योऽपि नमस्काराः। सौन्दर्यलहर्याः चतुस्सप्ततितमात् श्लोकात् चर्चामनुवर्तयामः। इतः पूर्वम् आवाम् अहम् उषा आर्या च अत्र चर्चितवन्तौ देव्याः स्तनौ कथं गणेशः गजाननः दृष्ट्वा तस्य स्वकुम्भौ एव इति मत्वा तत् शाश्वतत्वेन अमृतत्वसेचनाय parimrishati. So Ganesha looking at the breasts of Jagadamba and fearing that it may get over soon because he has a very voracious appetite. He he squeezes his own temples of his head on his head because they also look very alike. That is one. And then this entire scenario caused peals of laughter in the house of Jagadamba. Hasijanakaha iti. अपि च गणेशः षण्मुखः च किमर्थं कुमाराव एव स्तः? Why are they still considered adolescents? कुमाराव एव इति किमर्थं भावितौ इत्युक्ते तौ भवत्याः स्तन्यं पीत्वा यत् सम्पूर्णतया सर्वानपि कामान् परिपूरयति तस्मात् तौ वधूसंग अरसिकौ ajayatam. They became disinterested to make the company of the here vadhu here, here vadhu means a maiden or a woman. So they did not take partners because they were already satisfied so fully by your milk. And therefore, if it can extinguish and vanquish the desires, the even natural urges and cravings of gods themselves, your stanya should be definitely Amrita Rasa Manikya Kutupau, is what the the poet is trying to say here. That your the bosom milk must be verily a personification of the Amritattva. Otherwise, it would not even have satisfied and sated the natural kama vasanas of even gods. Astu. Idanim.
I think Smara is very afraid of going back to Kailasa anytime soon. And he's just leaving the family alone.
Yeah, he's leaving it alone. True. वहत्यम्बस्तम्बे रमदनुजकुम्भप्रभृतिभिः समारब्धां मुक्तामणिभिरमलां हारलतिकाम् कुचाभोगोभिं बिम्बाधररुचिभिरन्तः शबलिताम् प्रतापव्यामिश्रां पुरदमयितुः कीर्तिमिव ते. पुनरपि तस्याः कुचा भोगः, the portion which is in the center of between the breasts, कुचा भोगः वर्ण्यते. कथं? वहति अम्बा, हे अम्बा मातः, स्तम्बे रम. कः स्तम्बे रमः? हस्ति साधु गजः इति. स्तम्बे रमः, यः स्तम्बे अर्थात ग्रास तृणेषु रमते सः स्तम्बे रमः. सः स्तम्बे रमः धनुज कुंभ प्रभृतिभिः. Here is not prakriti, it could be prabhriti. Some pathantara say it is prabhriti. स्तम्बे रम धनुज कुंभ प्रभृतिभिः समारब्धां मुक्तामणिभिः हारलतिकाम् अमलाम् कुचाभोगः बिम्बाधर रुचिभिः अंतःशबलितां प्रतापव्यामिश्रां पुरदमयितुः कीर्तिमिवते. So let's break this down. The kriya pada here is vahati. Let me just try to bring this here. Kim vahati kirtim iva te kirtim vahati. The kucha bhogaha, the bosoms of yours, the breasts of yours, they carry your kirti. They are carrying forth your kirti and scattering it everywhere. And they are of the form of Puradama Kirtim. So they are as though proclaiming the faith, the fame of Puradama Yituhu. Puradama is Shiva. यः पुरस्य दमनं कृतवान् सः पुरदमयिता तस्य षष्ठी विभक्तौ पुरदमयितुः कीर्तिं कथम लेट्स लुक एट दिस स्तंभे रम दनुज कुंभ प्रभृतिभिः so now your kucha bhoga can take on vahati, it can take on the appearance of many different analogies, of many different upameyas, such as stambhe rama, which is that of an elephant. Like we showed in the last class, the head of the Indian elephant is this. That is why even Ganesha gets confused. So these are the small ears of the Indian elephant. So this portion is called as the
न
Kumbha.
दृश्यते महोदय,
Uh,
न दृश्यते।
oh, न दृश्यते किम्?
इदानीं भवतः स्क्रीन् केवलं सौन्दर्यलहरी एव। अहं चिन्तितवान् भवान् हस्तिं दर्शयति इति।
Oh, oh. इदानीं दृश्यते किम्?
आमामाम्।
एतौ द्वौ स्वकुम्भौ इति कुम्भः इति कथ्यते, गजस्य कुम्भः इति। धनुज स्तंभे रमा धनुja is Gajasura. Stambhe Rama is Gaja. Danuja is Asura. Stambhe Rama Danuja Kumbha Prabhritibhihi. So it could. This was the Gajasura's head, the temples of his forehead, which appeared like the Kumbha. That's why we also say Kumbhabhisheka to a temple, because the highest portion of a temple is usually the Kalasha. So that is also called the Kumbha. So your stana resembles the Kumbha of the Gajasura and others. Samarabdham Muktamani Bhihi Haralatikam Amalam. Haralatikam Amalam Haralatikam. Amala is that which doesn't diminish in its glory, in its radiance, in its bling. Amalam Haralatikam, that necklace that she wears, which never um, diminishes in its brightness. Amalam Haralatikam Mukta Mani Bhihi. What is it studded with? It is studded with Mukta Mani. Mukta is pearls. Mukta Mani Bhihi Amalam and Samarabdham. Your breasts are carrying. Okay, this may be a little vulgar, seemingly, but my drawing may not really resemble, do justice to the description here. So there is Vahana. It is carrying the weight of a gem-studded, ever bright necklace of pearl on her chests, which the bosoms, the figure of which looks like the forehead of the Gajasura, or a very Unmatta Gaja. Kucha Bhogaha, Bimbadhara Ruchibhihi. Bimbadhara, let's look at what Bimbadhara is. Bimba is one of the trees, Bimba tree. It's an ivy gourd. In Kannada, we call this sorekai. I don't know what it is called. What is the name for it in Telugu? Bimba phala. Bimba phala.
It is a sorakai,
Sorekai. Okay.
much longer. Sorakai is like it's the bottle gourd actually.
Bottle gourd. This may not then be bottle gourd. It is ivy. What is the scientific name?
Bimba iti phalam mahodaya.
Hmm.
It's a very round fruit.
Oh.
Bimba adhara meaning that the lower lip is like that of the fruit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
बिंबाधर रुचिभिः अंतःशबलितां प्रतापव्यामिश्रां शबलितां puradamayitu kirtimivate. So, but the description here is of the breasts, so I'm not able to understand how lips would come here because bimbadhara, I was believing it was the vine which carries the bimba fruit. That's
Could be Bimbadhara, right? Bimbadhara iti dastam.
uh, bimbadhara. Mm,
No, I can see the what Shankaracharya wants to say is
mm,
that
mm,
when you have that studded necklace,
mm,
if you look at it, if you squint your eyes,
mm,
you can see that it looks like the face of an elephant.
mm,
The necklace that is hanging below
mm.
is like the trunk,
Okay.
and
Oh,
of course you know it, but this is what I am imagining.
mm,
And the stanas are like the
mm,
kumbhasthala of an elephant.
mm,
And it's just continuing. There is a full elephant's head that can be seen there.
mm.
Uh, and then what is he saying? Bimbadhara ruchibhir antaha shabalitam diva.
No, he's describing the necklace, which is because these are all in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Samarabdham, Haralatikam, Shabalitam, Pratapa Vyamishram, Puradamaituhu, Pratapa Vyamishram. So this necklace is it's an honor of a badge of honor of because it was given by Shiva, and each of these are depicting the pratapa, the legends and heroic accomplishments of Hara. And Vyamishra means that which has been incorporated into each and every element of this necklace. Pratapa Vyamishram Haralatikam Vahati. So basically, it is talking about how the breasts are carrying this particular necklace. And this necklace, which is the symbol, it's an award. It's a prize of Puradamayituhu Pratapa. It's a prize which represents the uh, heroic accomplishments of Hara, and also as though of his kirti. But what I'm trying to figure out is Bimbadhara Ruchibhihi Anta Shabalitam. So this is a little confusing because where will a creeper of Bimba fruit come here? Is I'm thinking. Let me just, if you
No,
can.
what does shabalitam mean?
Shabala is, it could be, Kabalita is to be swallowed. Shabalita is to make it more brighten, or it could also mean uh, studded. Let me just check. Shabalita. Shabalitam. Antashabalitam. Antaha ityukte antariti. Inside. Shabalita. Variegated. Antashabalitam. Bimbadhara ruchibhihi antashabalitam. Okay.
अत्र रुचिः इत्युक्ते बिम्बाधर रुचिः किम्
Bimba
रुचिः
iti.
इत्युक्ते कम्पेरिटिव् वा वट् इस्
रुचि रुचि सर्वदा समानार्थक इव तथा इति शब्दवत्. It is as though the Bimbadhara and which has very variegated as the Bimbadhara. Now Bimba, the spiny bitter gourd, it says here. The Bimba in the female is a spiny bitter gourd.
I don't think so. In the sense that
Hmm.
bimba fruit is the smooth red color one that you're just looking at.
Oh,
It's
okay.
generally compared to the lower lip.
You're saying correct.
So
Nether lip. Hmm.
the lip is like it's called bimbadhara.
Oh, okay, okay. Bimba, yeah, nether lip. Hmm. Kintu, let's look at the. Let me just share the meaning if I can find one. दृश्यते किम्? मम tab.
Come on.
सौंदर्य लहरी of Adi Shankara. अन्यत् न. Okay.
केवलं श्लोकाः एव द्रष्टुं शक्नोमि,
अस्तु.
विज्ञानं मध्ये अस्ति।
प्रतीक्षित. इदानीं तदृश्यते shankaracharya.org तत् tab. Vahatyambastam. O mother mine, the centerpiece of the center place of your holy breast, that is between the breasts, where is the glittering chain made of pearls, recovered from inside the head of Gajasura, and reflect the redness of your lips, resembling the bimba fruits, and are colored red inside. You wear the chain with fame, like you wear the fame of of our Lord, who destroyed the three cities.
अत्र अत्र महोदय, जनरली इट इज कंसिडर्ड दैट देयर आर दीस पर्ल्स
Hmm.
एंड ratnas in the kumbhasthala of an elephant.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
this majorly present in many kavyas,
Mm-hmm.
where the Simha always tries to hit the Kumbhasthala.
Mm.
And as soon as it breaks that, there are monies that come out of it.
Oh, wow.
So this mala that she is wearing, it is made out of those pearls. That's what I think.
Oh, fantastic. Samyak sadhu. Then it ties well, yeah. And then, but then this Bimbadhara Pruchibhi, how is that connected to the necklace? And reflect the redness of your lips, resembling the Bimba fruits, and are colored red inside. Anta Shabalita. Shabala, okay, Shabala, they have thought to be red color. Shabala.
So these are red ratnas,
Uh,
and they are in the same color as your lips, which are like a bimba fruit.
oh, okay, okay.
It's a threefold
Wow.
comparison.
Bimba Adhara Ruchi Bhihi. That which is the Ruchi, the beauty of the color of both your lips as well as the Bimba fruit is the same color, the redness which is there on the gems procured from from vanquishing the Gajasura. Oh wow. Hmm. Samyak. Gaja. But then Muktamani is given, so which is a little confusing because Muktamani is not really red. It's white in color. Gajasura gems. Okay. Elephant gems.
Where do we get this description of this Muktamani being white?
Muktamani. Oh yes, yes. This is geometric. Okay, not this. Muktamani. Muktamani is pearl, and usually pearl is always white or creamish white in color. Hmm. समारब्धां मुक्तामणिभिः अमलां हारलतिकां कुचाभोगः बिम्बाधररुचिभिः antashhabalitam. Oh, I see. So it is the rest of the necklace is just muktamani. It's made up, it starts off Samarabdham, it starts off with Muktamani. And because, like you said, the gems procured from the Gajasura, the Samhara, are red in color, which are red like the bimba fruits hanging off the vine, or like your lips, which could be amidst a very white countenance of your face. Similarly, it is Antash Shabalitam. It has taken
No,
a
no.
reddish hue inside.
I think
Hmm.
these pearls are reflecting your red inner
Hmm.
lip.
Hmm.
So they are left red.
Oh, oh. कुचा भोगः बिम्बाधर रुचिभिः antashhabalitam. Okay, it takes the reflection of the redness within them. Okay. Hmm. Pratapa
So the
Vyamishra.
pearls.
Hmm. Adbhutam.
धन्यवादाः।
धन्यवादः. You only helped me through. Thank you. धन्यवादः. अस्तु गायतु वहति. Hmm.
वहत्यम्बस्तम्भे रमदनुज कुम्भ प्रकृतिभिः समारम्भं मुक्तामणिभिरमलां भारलतिकाम् कुचा भोगो बिम्बाधररुचिभिरन्तः प्रबलिताम्
प्रतापव्या
प्रतापव्यामिश्रां पुरमयितुः कीर्तिमिव ते
पुरदमयितु
पुरतमयितुः कीर्तिमिव ते।
सम्यक्। इदानीं ललितादेव्याः तत्र मुक्तामणिः न दृश्यते, किन्तु द पेण्डेण्ट् या तत्र बिम्बफल इव, दट् रेड् बाटल् फ्रूट् इव दृश्यते, सोरि, बिम्बफलमिव।
It's actually white. It is being reflected.
आ,
No, no, no. Right period. Yeah.
तव स्तन्यं मन्ये धरणिधर कन्ये हृदयतः पयः पारावारः परिवहति सारस्वतमिव दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुरास्वाद्य तव यत् कवीनां प्रौढानाम् अजनिकमनीयः कवयिता। एष श्लोकः कस्यचित् भक्तस्य, देव्याः भक्तस्य कथां विवृण्वन् तस्याः स्तन्यस्यापि वर्णनं करोति। तव, हे मातः, तव स्तन्यं, य ब्रेस्ट मिल्क, मन्ये, अहं चिन्तयामि यत् हृदयतः चिन्तयामि, I know from the bottom of my heart verily that it is पयः पारावारः सारस्वतम् इव परिवहति इति। पयः पारावारः, पारावारः इत्युक्ते सरोवरम् इति। पयः पारावारम्, इट्स् अ लेक ऑफ मिल्क, पयस् इत्युक्ते क्षीरम् इति। पयः पारावारः सारस्वतम् इव परिवहति, that lake which is that milk lake which is saraswatam iva. Saraswatam ityukte saraswatyah idam iti saraswatam, that which belongs to Saraswati or is in the vicinity of Saraswati is saraswatam. The other meaning is knowledge, that which Saraswati has is saraswatam. But here she also sits in a lake of, she is first of all white in color, shuddha spatika sankasha sa, she sits on a white swan, on a white lotus in the white milk ocean. So he's comparing this milk of yours actually is that lake of milk which upon which Saraswati sits. And the other Sambodhana Vibhakti here is Dharani Dhara Kanye, hey Kanye, O bride, O maiden, that is a daughter of Dharani Dhara, Arthat Himalaya. Because it was a poetic imagination that the mountains upheld the earth. So Dharani Dhara, Dharani इत्युक्ते पृथिवी, पृथिवीं यः धरति सः धरणीधरः, अर्थात् हिमालयः पर्वतः इति। पर्वतराजस्य पुत्री तव स्तन्यं सरस्वत्याः पयः पारावारं vahati, parivahati. It is as though it is taking on itself the analogy or the comparison of payaf paravara of Saraswati. The other meaning is it actually is knowledge itself, Saraswatam. Daya avatya dattam. Ah,
पयः इत्युक्ते अमृतः अपि खलु।
आम् अमृतम् इत्यपि शक्यते। आम्।
अपि
हम्म।
तदेव सारस्वतम् इति, ज्ञानमेव अमृतम् इति।
हम्म। आम्। ओ अद्भुतम्। यतः अ, पयः पारावारः सारस्वतम इव परिवहति. Hmm. अमृतमेव ज्ञानं परिवहति. अमृतमेव ज्ञानं वहति इति. Yeah. दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुः आस्वाद्य तव यत् यत् दत्तं दयावत्या भवत्या. Because of your overwhelming compassion for a particular Dravida Shishu, for a Shishu, for an infant from the south of India, Dravida Shishu who Aswadya, this small little infant drank from your milk. Daya, because of your compassion, of your motherly compassion, and because of which Saha Kavinam Praudhanam api Kavinam, of even great erudite accomplished scholars, he became a Kavayita, he became a poet who was causing Kamaniyata, he was causing uh, so Kamaniya here refers to that position or that state or that personality or that fame which is desired, which is worthy of desiring. That is Kamaniya, Kamana Yogyam iti. Yat praudhanam kavinam kamaniyam. That which even erudite, accomplished, experienced scholars themselves long for, that they wish for, such a state of being a poet, kavayita, ajani, he became, ajayata ityukte. कथं केवलं भवत्याः सारस्वतम् इव पयः पीत्वा, just by drinking from your breast milk, which is like our Trivikramarya said, which is jnana itself, which is amritatva itself, he was able to rise to such ranks greater than that of even elderly poets, and thus became the center of envy and good envy for even such scholars. This may refer to a story of okay, yeah,
कमनीयः इत्युक्ते
mm,
it can also refer to the fact that these Praudha Kavis
mm,
are, looking at this poet, the new poet,
mm,
just by listening to him,
mm,
they are getting extreme bliss. They are thinking that his poetry
mm.
is Kamaniya.
Oh, Kavaitatta. Mm. They are getting attracted to the poetry of his. Kamaniyaha Kavaita. Satyam. But strictly grammatically speaking, Kamaniyaha is Prathama Vibhakti, so which goes as a descriptive qualifier for Dravida Shishu. This Dravida Shishu became a Kavayita. He became a composer who is Kamaniya, who attracts attention. But yes, of course, if I mean, I don't think they have gotten attracted physically to him, but they got attracted to him for his works. Usually, so looking at this story here, the image of Parvati offering milk to an infant actually is from that of Saint Sambandhar, who was a 7th century Shaivite saint. So this is which means this is pre-Shankara. Therefore, Shankaracharya is perhaps quoting or citing this reference where goddess Parvati or Ma Tara breastfeeds the crying infant Sambandhar with divine milk, granting him immense spiritual knowledge, Saraswatam, and the ability to compose devotional hymns. And this is a common theme in the South Indian art. That is why this Dravida Shishuhu. Let's look at some more information about this Jnana Sambandhar. Sambandhar. Thiru Jnana Sambandhar's story is the legendary tale of the 7th century Tamil Shaivite saint who received divine wisdom from goddess Parvati herself, leading to singing thousands of devotional hymns, Tevaram, on Lord Shiva, reviving Shaivism and ultimately merging with divine light as a teenager. At age 3, crying from separation from his father, the divine couple appeared. Parvati fed him divine milk, granting him enlightenment. So here, separation from his father refers to separation from Shiva, because he's still a very young kid. He's not attached fondly to his biological parents, but to Shiva and Parvati, Jagatav Pitaro. Uh, and he sang his first hymn, Sudodaya Savian, in praise of Shiva. He traveled, performed miracles, challenged Jain monks, and united Shaivites before attaining salvation at a mere age of 16, becoming a pivotal figure in Tamil devotional history. So, Shankaracharya is ascribing his composition's beauty to the origin of him being fed with this Saraswata of Devi, which means her breast milk is verily Hridayataha Manye. I truly think it is definitely Amritatva and Saraswatam Eva.
I think, yeah, that's true. I think this कमनीयः इत्युक्ते अन्येषु कमनं जनयितुं शक्तः इति
Mm. Anyeshu,
तदेव भवानपि उक्तवान् इति मन्ये.
he who is worthy of being desired, Kamaniyaha. Just as we say Ramaniya, so there it is not a aniya in the classical sense of something to be done. Ramaniya is Ramana Yogyam iti. Uh, that which is worthy of being Ramana, of doing Ramana for, is Ramaniya. Similarly, that which, yeah, which causes them to
गमनयोग्यं
Kamana Yogyam. सम्यक् कृपया गायतु.
तव स्तन्यं मन्ये धरणिधरकन्ये हृदयतः पुण्यः पारावारः परिवहति सारस्वतमिव दयावत्या दत्तं द्रविडशिशुरास्वाद्य तव यत् कवीनां प्रौढानाम् अजनि कमनीयः कवयिता
अरक्रोधज्वालावलिभिरवलीढेन वपुषा गभीरे तेनाभिसरसि कृतसङ्गो मनसिजः समुत्थस्थौ तस्मादचलतनये धूमलतिका जनस्ताञ्जानीते तव जननि रोमावलिरिति. So far we have seen the description of her breasts, her chest, the middle part portion of her chest, and the sternum, rather, biologically speaking, and then the necklace. Moving down, we are talking about the navel and the thin line of hair, a thin, very subtly noticeable row of hair, Roma Valihi, which is there leading to her navel. So that is the description going on here. Harakrodha jwala vali bhihi avalidhena vapusha manasijaha nabhi sarasi gabhire krita sangaha yada saha harak yada manasijaha. Manasija is kamaha, Lord Kamadeva. Manasijaha yada saha ब्रह्मणः मनसि एव उत्पन्नः इति कारण तस्य नाम मनसिजः इति. तदनन्तरं सर्वेषां मनसि अपि उत्पाद्यते कामः इति तस्मात् मनसिजः एव सः कामः. हरक्रोधज्वालावलिभिः अवलीढः, तस्य वपुः, तस्य शरीरं हरक्रोधज्वालावलिभिः, बिकास् ऑफ द फ्यूरी, द फ्लेम्स ऑफ फ्यूरी, द रोज, द सीक्वेंसेस of flames striking him. Avalibhihi Jwala Krodha Hara. Because of the sequential flames of anger and fury of Shiva, which are destroying his Vapuhu, Avalidha. It's as though the Jwalas are licking. The literal meaning of Avalidha is to lick. The flames of fire, they are licking his body. And why the very use of the word avalidha is because we typically associate lust, which is kama, with the desire to lick or touch another person's body, right? So similarly here, he himself was touched by the furious flames of Hara, because of which the flames reduced his, they set his body on fire. They set his ass on fire, because of which Nabhi Sarasi Gabhire, this Manasija came quickly to your Nabhi Saras, to the navel of yours, O mother, which is Gabhira, which is very deep. Your navel is very deep, and it is Saras, it is a lake. Your navel is very like a lake, because it's very cool there because of your Swadhisthana chakra, which is the abode of water, of Apas Tattva. So there he quickly came and Krita Sangaha, he quickly came and took a bath there. Krita Sangaha, Te Nabhi, in your Nabhi. And then and Samuttasthau Dhumalatika. So whenever a person on fire or anything on fire is quickly immersed into thrown into a body of water, what happens? There is some smoke which comes out, right? So Samuttasthau, it arose. What arose? Dhumalatika Samuttasthau. Uh, a waft of smoke arose from your Nabhi, the lake of water of serenity. Tasmat, from that, Tam Romavalihi iti Janaha Janite. So this is actually, it is not your line of thin hair which is there, but it is actually the dhuma which has come up from the lake, which people are mistakenly calling it your Romavalihi. Dhumalatika Romavalihi iti Janaha Tam Janite. They know it to be the row of hair. So this is the very fine, beautiful description of both her navel and the hair, supposed hair, which lines down from her abdomen. So in a way, the same shloka has not only made a reference to Hara's Krodha, but also to the cooling powers of her navel, which which was able to put back Manasija, put back Kama, and give back a body to him. And once again, yogically speaking, that navel point is really also the description, the focal point of Kama, the Swadhisthana chakra. And in fact, where the very same thing is also exploited very naturally, in fact, I would say unwittingly, in the marketing industry, right? So when we have uh, a body of a male or a female, and they have a very well crafted abdomen and their navel, so that is the point, the kendra of where kama is utpadana has happened. That is why also even in the Bhajagovindam, the word there is nari stana bhara nabhi desham drishtva magaha moha vesham. Perhaps this is one of the erogenic zones of the body, the navel and the breast, of course, but also the navel. Any comments? Any observations?
क्रोधा ज्वाला इत्युक्ते as the flame travels through air to its smara,
Hmm.
there is that line of fire.
Hmm.
Maybe that's what is being referred to.
Yeah, the line of
Uh,
fire, which destroyed his body.
Correct. And of course, now that you have said it, the licking action of fire. Of course, if you look at it carefully, the way it comes from, even if you look at wood being burnt, it looks like the fire, the flames are licking the,
Hmm.
yeah, very new kind of uh, looking at the same fire and wood.
Correct. And we also say the tongues of fire. We say Saptajihva for Agni. He has seven tongues which are licking. So yeah, it's a very nice coincidence, I would say. Not coincidence, but yeah, a very nice poetic way of looking at it. Saptajihva. I think it was Pranav who was talking about the Saptajihva, the seven. Was it um, Aditya, seven flare? flames of fire, they have each of these tongues have a name. Karali, Kali, and Virochana, and so on. Seven tongues. Ah, here. Kali, Karali cha Manojava cha Sulohita cha Sudhumra Sphulingini Vishwarupi at Vishwaruchi cha Devi Leelayamana iti Saptajihvaha iti Mundaka Upanishadaha mantram api asti. Kali, Karali, Manojava, Sulohita, Sudhumra Sphulingini Vishwaruchi iti Saptajihvaha. Sadhu. Kripaya Gayatu.
पठामि किम्?
Am.
हरक्रोधज्वाला हरक्रोधज्वाला लावलिभिरवलीढेन वपुषा गभीरे ते नाभिसरसि कृतसङ्गो मनसिजः समुत्तस्थौ तस्मात् अचलतनये धूमलतिका जनस्तां जानीते तव जननि रोमावलिरिति
सम्यक्. अत्र अचलतनया इत्युक्ते पुत्री अचलस्य पर्वतस्य पुत्री इत्यपि. But it just flashed to me that this very purpose of him choosing this adjective achala tanaya could also be because we usually use this. I think you are more aware of the idea of anumana, of inference, and they use this very famous example that there is smoke on a mountain. So which means if you see smoke on a mountain, you would infer that there must be fire or a forest fire somewhere which has caused the smoke. This is an example they give in philosophy for inference. That is, though one may not actually see the fire, you can still see the smoke and infer that there must have been a fire. Similarly, I'm just saying not similarly, but the reason he could have used the Sambodhana of Achala Tanaya itself specifically is because he's describing dhuma, smoke, which has arisen from her navel, which of course is concealed. Nobody can see the navel. But she being the Achala Tanaya is also a very nice, of course, it's a stretched coincidence, but yeah, it's very interesting to note that one is seeing the smoke on her abdomen, supposed smoke on her abdomen, but it is because Manasija has come and who was set on fire by Hara's Krodha, uh, has just now immersed himself into the Nabhi Saras. Astu. Yadetat kalindi tanutartaranga kriti shive कृषे मध्ये किञ्चिज्जननि तव यद्भाति सुधियाम् विमर्दादन्योन्यं कुचकलशयोरन्तरगतम् तनुभूतं व्योम प्रविशदिव कुहरिणीम्. Once again, continuing the description of the Romavali. Yadetat kalindi tanu tara tarangakriti शिवे हे शिवे मध्ये कृषे किंचित तव यत् भाति किम भाति तनुभूतं व्योम प्रविशद इव कुहरिणीं नाभिम इव. So the nabhi again is being described, into which, into the space of the nabhi, into the space of this nabhi, vyoma tanubhutam vyoma pravishat iva nabhim kuharinim. Kuhara is guha, cave. Kuharini is that which has a cave. So nabhi has a cave. Her lower abdomen has a cave. supposedly, and into the empty space of this cave, the line of hair, this very fine line of hair, is entering. Kucha kalashayor antaragatam, and this line of hair has come from between her chest, on from the sternum down. Vimardad anyonyam kucha kalashayoho antaragatam tanubhutam, and because of the rubbing of the chests against each other, of the breasts against each other, the Roma has become too fine. Tanubhutam, it has become really fine by the friction between the between the breasts. Kucha kalashayoho, which are like the kalashas rubbing against each other. Vimardad, and by the squeezing and the rubbing action against each other, anyonyam. Kucha kalashayoho antaragatam, and it's between them. And tanu bhutam vyoma pravishad iva nabhim kuharinim. And similarly, at the end of the punyaha vachana, we take both the kalashas and we pour the water from both of them into a thin line of stream of water, which comes and falls into the arghya patra. So you should imagine this ritual. Let me see if we can find an image for it. Punyaha vachana ritual. Let's see if we can find that video at least for it. I believe that you will not be able to hear the sound, but see this. So okay, he has shown only with one kalasha, but usually we take with both the kalashas in left and right hand and turn them down so that the water from both these kalashas trickle down into the arghya patra. So just imagine that description here. For the kalashas of the devi are the punyaha kalashas, which are rubbing each other and causing the line of hair to trickle down into the arghya patra, the supposed arghya patra, which is the nabhi. And where is this happening? Krishe Madhye. It is happening in a very thin, lean abdomen of hers. Krishe Madhye Kinchit. He Janani, O mother. Tava Yat Bhati. That which is visible, that which is seen here. For whom? Kevalam Sudhiyam Yat Bhati. It is seen by only people having good intentions. Sudhiya, those who have the right mindset. And again, he keeps putting very interesting sambodhanas here. We must look at this example in the bhava of she being the janani and not a sakha or not a sakhi or in other bhavas. So, he janani, sudhiyam yat tava bhati, that between your thin, lean stomach on your abdomen, because of the friction of the two kalashas, the stana kalashas, the small, very fine line of hair is as though reaching its arghya patra, which is the kuhara, the cave of the nabhi. Yadetat he shive kalindi tanutara taranga kritihi. And so the navel, which is now receiving this supposed water, is Kalindi Tanutara Taranga Akriti. So this is like the, yeah, if you imagine the Yamuna, Kalindi Nadi, which is the Yamuna Nadi, which is getting smaller and smaller. Tanutara Taranga Kriti. And these tarangas, these small tributaries and waves are visible. Akriti means that which is of the form of, which is of the shape of the waves coming from the ever diminishing Kalindi, Tanutara Kalindi. So let's look at another analogy here where Yamuna is, okay, let's say emerging from a cave. It's from the Yamunotri glacier. Okay. A riverlet. I don't find the exact description, an image of it, but imagine that there is a small trickle of water which is either emerging from a cave or going into a cave. But here the actual word is pravishat, so it is entering into a cave. Pravishat iva nabhim kuharinim. So a small tributary of Kalindi of the Yamuna Nadi, which has been fine tuned and become very diminished because of the clashing against the rocks around it, boulders around it, and it has stopped much of its waves. Tanutara Taranga has now reached the cave. Similarly, has those row of fine hairs of yours reached the Nabhi? Hmm.
Is Flora cave.
Hmm.
It's actually made by Yamuna Nadi. It's went underground.
Oh.
There are these huge caves that I've actually gone to. So once upon a time, the Nadi used to flow. It used to be an underground. It used to flow underground.
Hmm.
Thousands of millions of years. It carved out the path under the ground. So maybe that's what you think it is.
Oh, okay. The Ellora caves were carved by the Yamuna Nadi. Okay, very interesting. Kalindi Nadi. Vaghora river, not a river named Kalindi. Hmm. Okay, perhaps it must have been. Astu. यदि प्रश्नः अस्ति कश्चन? अस्तु, कृपया गायतु.
क्षम्यताम् अहं पठामि
Hmm.
यदेतत्कालिन्दी तनुतरतरङ्गाकृतिचिवे कृशे मध्ये किञ्चिज्जननि तव यद्भाति सुधियां विदर्द विमर्दादन्योन्यं कुचकलशयोरन्तरगतम् तनूभूतं व्योम प्रविशदिव नाभिं कुहरिणीम्
साधु. स्थिरो गङ्गावर्तस्तनमुकुलरोमावलिलता कलाबालं कुण्डं कुसुमशरतेजो हुतभुवः हुतभुजः रतेर्लीलागारं किमपि तव नाभिर्गिरिसुते बिलद्वारं सिद्धेर्गिरिशनयनानां विजयते. पुनरपि नाभेः एव वर्णनं क्रियते. स्थिरः गङ्गावर्तः स्तनमुकुलरोमावलिलता कलावालं कुण्डं कुसुमशरतेजो हुत भुजः रतेः लीलागारं किमपि तव नाभिः हे गिरिसुते सिद्धेः बिलद्वारं गिरीशनयनानाम् इति विजयते. So he is the poet is trying to describe the Nabhi in many ways. He's giving many examples. He's trying to think that could this be the right analogy? Could this be the right, sorry, simile for comparing Devi's Nabhi? He says, Sthiraha Ganga Vartaha. the Ganga, which is water of the Ganga, is Avarta. There is a certain whirlpool which is going on in the middle of the river, which is Sthira. There is a unchanging, stable whirlpool in the Ganga. Stana Mukula Romavali Lata Kalavalam Kundam. This is one of the descriptions that it could be the whirlpool. So around your navel, there is a certain fine circle of hair. So this could be similar to the whirlpool which has taken place in the Ganga, which is Sthira. Sthiro Ganga Vartaha अथवा स्तनमुकुल Romavali Lata Kalavalam Kundam. So you should imagine there is a kunda, there is a pot from which, so you keep a flower pot from a kunda from which you uh, you help grow a creeper like a nursery. You help grow a creeper, a lata, which is the Romavali itself, lata. Kalavalam. Kalavala means that which helps it grow. To if you say bonsai garden, right? So you say a small nursery, miniature version of a park. Kalavalam Kundam, Romavali Lata Eva Lata. And what is the mukula? What is the bud of this creeper? It is the two breasts of Devi. So Sthana Mukula Romavali Lata Kalavalam Kundam. So this Nabhi of yours is the kunda from which the Romavali has come and blossomed into the two sthana of yours. Athava, it could also be Kusuma Shara, which is Kama Deva is called Kusuma Shara because he uses Pushpa Bana to as his arrows. Kusuma Shara Tejaha Huta Bhujaha. So धन्यवाद अस्तु Tejo Huta Bhujaha. So he is taking Ashraya Huta Bhujaha. Huta Bhuk is fire. It is the kunda into which Kusuma Shara, that is Kamadeva, came to extinguish the Hutabhuj, the fire which came on his Tejas. This is the kunda into which he dipped. Kusuma Shara Tejaha Hutabhujaha, which is just repeating the same analogy as in the previous verse. This navel could also be Ratehe Leelagaram. It could be the workshop. It could be the office, the workplace of Rati, of Kama's wife, who is called Rati. In what sense? Because again, Nabhi itself is the point of origin of both lust and love because of the Swadhisthana. So Rati doing her work there, she doing her crafts there, is verily the metaphor for this being the case. There's phenomena of lust and love arising from the Nabhi. So the Nabhi of yours is the Leelagara of Rati. Kimapi tava Nabhi. Your Nabhi is something. I don't really know what exactly it is. Kimapi tava. Biladwaram siddhehe girisha nayananam. It could also be the siddhi of Girisha Nayananam. So Girisha is Shiva. He has three eyes. That is why the Bahuvachana Prayoga. Girisha Nayananam Siddhehe Biladwaram. So it is told that Siddhi comes from in caves. So it is called Biladwara. So usually Siddhis, all different Siddhis are attained by meditating in a certain cave. And the fulfillment of a tapasya happens in a cave, it is told. Hence, the tapasvis and the yogis, yoginis, etc., used to go to such caves, have ashraya in such, and sit there. And so, even if people did not meditate or did not have prior sadhana, if they just entered the cave of such a siddha purusha, of a siddha yogini, they would get their wishes fulfilled. That is the belief. Similarly, because they used to stay there always, they used to always reside there. Similarly, Shiva, who is the Adi Yogi, the great Tapasvi, his eyes would always wander around the region of her navel, Girisha Nayanana, because of which, because he is a Tapasvi himself, it's as though all his siddhis, because through his eyes, residing at the navel region, have all been transferred into the cave. So it is the Biladwara of all siddhis. And in thus, a person who would meditate on Devi's Nabhi is also bound to have some gifts of Shiva's Nayanas on him. Girisute, Girikanye, because it is in the Giris that you find caves, is it not? You find caves only in mountains. So similarly, you find the cave which is that of Nabhi of the Devi to be the Siddhidwara of Shiva's eyes because they have always wandered. Meaning that Shiva has transferred all his energy and Shakti into that cave. He has kept it, he has left his powers and Siddhis behind in Devi's Nabhi. Because of which, from the Nabhi, when she takes the Garbha of the entire world, all special miraculous powers also get genetically transferred back into the Jiva, some of the Jivas within. स्थिरो गङ्गावर्तस्तनमुकुलरोमावलिलता कलावालङ्कुण्डं कुसुमशरतेजोहुतभुजः रतेर्लीलागारं किमपि तव नाभिर्गिरिसुते बिलद्वारं सिद्धेर्गिरिशनयनानां विजयते. यदि कश्चन प्रश्नः?
No, sir. Everything is clear.
अस्तु. निसर्गक्षीणस्य स्तनतटभरेण क्लमजुषो नमन्मूर्तेर्नारीतिलकशनकैस्तृट्यत इव चिरन्ते मध्यस्य त्रुटिततटिनीतीरतरुणा समावस्थास्थेम्नो भवतु कुशलं शैलतनये. Hey Shailatanaye Parvati, daughter of the mountain, Kushalam Bhavatu, may it be happy, may it be well. Kushalam Bhavatu. Kim te madhyasya kushalam bhavatu. Tava madhyasya. Now the description has moved to that of the abdomen. Madhya. Madhyasya chiram kushalam bhavatu. May your may glory be to your waist, to your abdomen forever. Chiram. Why? Let's look at the description. Nisarga kshinasya. It is by nature, by design itself, very kshina, very thin, very lean. Stana tata bharena klamajushaha. Kintu, it has become klama, it has become tired because of bearing the weight, Jusha, to bear the weight of the stana tata of her breasts, because the waist is carrying the breast of the mother. It has become quite slender and it's already slender by itself by design. Because of bearing the weight, it has become krisha still. It has become still leaner and thinner and weaker. Klamajushaha. Naman murte hai nari tilaka. Hey nari tilaka. Oh, you who are the tilaka, who are like the tilaka means the greatest anointment which is used to be kept on the soldiers before they went to war. So that is called tilaka. And out of all the different kinds of beauties or ornaments or embellishments that one can have, the tilaka was to be the best among them because it represented virya. It represented shaurya and virya. So similarly, she, Parvati, is the tilaka of the naris. She is the best, the most excellent among all women, of all feminine qualities. Naman Murtehe, and because of the tiredness of having to bear two very heavy bosoms, it has Naman. It has its Murti has become Namat. Namat means here to bend. So you have seen many feminine figures. They bend towards one side. Okay. Even in the Harappa Mohenjo-daro, there's a female sculpture of procured from the Harappa civilization. You see this? So this was the very classical posture of a pose of femininity, to stand on, to lean the waist towards one side. That is called Naman Murtihi. So the waist has bent towards one side. Naman Murtehe. Shanakaihi Trutyataiva. It's almost about to break. Trutyate means to break. It's almost Shanakaihi. By little, gradually it's about to break. Chiram te madhyasya trutita tatini tira taruna samavastha sthemnaha. So it is this stheman. Stheman means a stem. The word stem has come from stheman. Stheman, the stem, or even literally the biological word stamen means the filament which supports the anther and the stigma of the flower is called stamen. So that is also stamen. Samavastha sthemnaha. It is the filament which is carrying trutita. It's almost about to break. Trutita. Tatini means nadi. Tira taruna. Tatinyaha tirasya taruna samavastha. Now let's break this down. Trutita means to break. A nadi which has broken. And it's tira. So there is the shore of the river. Taruna means young. Taruna samavastha. The avastha of being a very young, very new uh, is taruna. Samavastha. Sthemnaha is the filament. Let's how does all of these very varying words, random words come together? So what perhaps he could be saying, and I request your views and interpretations also on this, is it is this theman, it is this stem which is upholding the Tatini Tira Taruna. So the waist of mother. So this is the waist of the mother, which is, as you would imagine, there to be stems or trees on the shore of a river, which are very young, which are holding the shore in place from getting washed off by the river's current. So that could be one of the imagined analogies. Trutita tatini tira taruna samavastha sthemnaha. And this is not even a full grown tree. You could see that it is a trutita, it's a broken stump of a tree. It's the broken stump of a tree which is present along the shore of a tatini, of a nadi, which is also quite young, and hence it's also very powerful. But the point of this broken stump of a tree is to hold the tira, which is taruna, in its place, is to hold tightly the mud and sand, to hold the soil together. Similarly, because of the ongoing analogy of it being weakened by the klama, because of the tiredness of having to bear the sthana, which is almost about to break, shanakaihi trutyata, the direction in which Shankaracharya is taking this shloka could be that your trunk, literally the trunk of your body, which is the abdomen, is like the trunk of a tree trying to hold together in place uh, the soil from getting washed away too quickly. This could be one meaning. How do you guys look at it? Any comments?
The description of mother's abdomen has been described by Shankaracharya as the root,
Mm.
and her breasts are holding the sand. That is what he is trying to explain.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting.
uh, that's all I can explain.
Okay.
That's what I've got.
Anybody, anything else? Any other comment? Okay. There's even I am quite confused at this stage. Let's look at if there is any better translation of this. Mm. O daughter of the mountain, you who is the greatest among women, long live your pretty hips, which look fragile, which are by nature tiny, which are strained by your heavy breasts and hence slightly bent, and which look like the tree in the eroded banks of a rushing river. Okay, so he's quite close to this description. Trutita, the eroded tree, it's almost getting eroded. The shore is getting eroded by a fast flowing river, and there is a tree which is on this eroded bank. But what exactly the river represents is the point of my concern. Is there an analogy of the river on her body, or is it just saying that it looks like a stump of a tree on a river?
I think it looks like a stump of a tree on the river, sir.
Right. Stump of a tree near the river bank. Please give me one moment. Kshamyatam, there was somebody at the door. Astu. So, yeah, I'm not really very convinced with this analogy. Let's look at next verse for now. Kripaya Gayatu Arye. Would you like to chant this verse?
No, sir, you continue.
Oh,
I don't know Soundarya so well.
okay. Astu. Chinta nasti. कुचौ सद्यस्विद्यत्तटघटितकूर्पासभिदुरौ कषन्तौ दोर्मूले कनककलशाभौ कलयता तव त्रातुं भङ्गाद् अलमिति वलग्नं तनुभुवा त्रिधा नद्धन् देवि त्रिवलिलवलीवल्लिभिरिव Kuchau. Now the description has come to her. Trivali lavali vallibhihi iva tridha nadham devi tava tratum bhangar alamiti valagnam tanubhuva. So valagnam is the waist. Let's look, just confirm it. Valagnam could be the waist. Valagnam. Yeah, it is the waist. So the Valagna is being described after the Madhya. So the abdomen has been described, the front part of it. Then there is the waist. So you could say the Parshvasthana, that is just above the hips, where we find usually the love handles. So that is the Valagnam. There is a Trivali. It has three layers or three threads around it. Trivali. Lavali Vallibhiriva Tridha Nadham. So she, Devi, has tied around her waist with three bands. There are three bands of some rope or something which is tied around her waist. Adi Shankaracharya is saying that this could be like the creeper, Lavali Valli. Valli is a creeper. Lavali is a particular name of a plant. So let's look at the Lavali creeper. So, lovely creeper. Philanthus disticus. Sukranti name. Okay, this is like the gooseberry, but gooseberry is not a creeper. Let's anyhow. So there is a certain plant by name Lavali, which is a creeper, and it's as though she has tied three creepers around her waist. And let's look at the description more carefully. Kuchau sadyasvidyat tataghatita kurpasa bhidurau. Kuchau, your two breasts, O mother, are bhidurav. They are because of sweating. Sadhya svidyat. Sweda is to sweat. Because of seldom sweating, because of their heaviness, svidyat, tata, ghatita, kurpasa bhidurau. So the blouse or the upper garment that you're wearing, which is of cotton, kurpasa is cotton, tata ghatita, that is which is worn around the tata. Tata is the chest. That which is worn around the chest is bhidurav. It is stretching the the fabric, and because of also the sweat and their action of motion, kashantau, it is stretching the fabric and weakening it. Dor mule kanaka kalashabhau kalayata. So the two breasts of yours are like the kanaka kalasha. They are like suvarna kalasha of yours. So this is the kanaka kalasha. Abha means that which looks like. Kanaka kalasha abhau. Dor mule kashantau. And in between your arms, under your arms, dor mule. Doho means arm. Dor mule is at the root of the arm, which is at the shoulder. At the shoulder. Kashanto, they are stretching and they are causing friction. Kalayata, thinking about this, who Tanubhuva, that is Kamadeva himself, because he was born from the body. Tanubhu means one who is born from the body. Tanubhuva Kalayata. He was getting concerned. Kalayata is he is getting concerned that these Kanaka Kalasha, these Suvarna Kalasha are so strong that they are already causing your fabric of the blouse to tear, and it's causing strain on the underarms of yours. So he is getting afraid ki what will happen if such kalashas are also going to break the waist. They are going to break this creeper, which has become my abode here. If you remember from a previous verse, he has taken Ashraya. He has made Devi's abdomen itself his home. So he doesn't want his home and roof to collapse on him. So what he does is he takes Tratum Bhangat to prevent collapse. Tratum Bhangat Alam iti, to stop. Alam means to stop. Tratum Bhangat, to protect the Valagnam, to protect the waist from Bhanga, from breaking and uh, just collapsing, because it is very thin, as we have seen earlier. Alamiti, he says, enough. I am not going to bear with the nuisance of this Kanaka Kalasha anymore. So, Tridha, three times he took the Lavali Valli. He took the creepers from around him, of the Lavali vine, of the Lavali creeper. And Tridha Nadham. Nadham means to tie. Nadham is to tie. Hey Devi, Trivali, and therefore your Valagnam, your waist, seems to have three bands around it. And it is not for any other reason but that Kamadeva has tied three times, three layers of the lovely flower, the lovely creepers around your waist, thinking that at least this will hold this stem in place. If you look at the way all these bamboos are tied together when there's a construction going on, there are stalks and stalks of the bamboo or some other tree, the trunk of a tree, maybe a very thin trunk, which is tied together with a rope. Of course, the tying of the rope is not going to take the burden of the entire weight of whatever is kept above these stumps, but tying allows it to keep it stable and without friction. It will prevent collapse of these sticks. Similarly, your vase, which is so slender as a stick, Kamadeva gets afraid, which has become my home is going to collapse. The roof is going to collapse on me because of the very huge Kanaka Kalasha, the Amrita Kalasha of yours. And the evidence for it is, I have already seen that because of you're straining yourself and you're sweating and causing the dor mula, the underarms itself, to be bruised and itchy. They are bruised, and the kurpasa, the blouse, is also bhidura. It has started loosening, and the fibers have started coming out. All in all, the description is talking of how abundant Devi's Matrubhava is, along with how slender her waist is. At the same time, referencing how Kamadeva has also made her waist his home. All these concepts are already previously well discussed.
Beautiful, sir. Very nice.
Hmm.
Stop here, sir.
Okay, sure.
Dhanyawada, sir.
Dhanyawada. I'll just quickly chant these words and we will stop. Kuchau sadyasvidyat tataghatita kurpasa bhidurau kashantau dormule kanakakalashabhau kalayata tavattratum bhangadalamiti valagnam tanubhuva tridhanadham devit trivalilavali vallibhiriva. And the next class we can talk about. So the description then further goes down from her waist to her hips, and after the hips is the thighs. After the thighs are the janu, the knees, calf muscles, her feet, and there are 5 to 6 verses on just her feet. Then the toenails, and finally the entire description, the Purna Tattva, the entire the abstract nature of what Devi represents, is talked in the last 10 verses. So far, we have seen from the very head, the very crown of Devi's, to the waist. So we have only come halfway more to go. Like we have been repeating in every class, the point of all these descriptions is to focus the mind, think of these similes, think of these metaphors, and try to bring, because we have to give something to our mind to think about, do we not? So when we think of such sattvic descriptions, and we think first of all of an ideal like Devi, then with all these kavita of kavya, kulyopa kulyakramahi is another phrase he very popularly uses in the Shivananda Lahari too, that the mind has to be submerged and drowned in repeated bashes of poetry so that it becomes very subtle and very still. So that has been the motive so far. Astu dhanyawadaha. Namaskara.